Rappo. Today something a bit different. This is not a teaching video, so if you're just here to learn a language, I guess you can ignore this video. Today is really just random talk and me petting my ikran and flying around. Namely, what I want to talk about is this entire discussion. Should you be speaking Latvi if you cannot do it correctly? This can apply to many different things. You could, for example, just not have the right vocab yet. But that's not really a problem, you can just look it up. But you could make grammar mistakes while speaking. And what I think is the biggest discussion is, should you be speaking Latvi if you mess up the pronunciation all the time? Which happens, I do that too. By the way, just in case someone is wondering, yes, this is my Let's Play account playthrough, but we decided to only do quests from now on together in Let's Play and do all the grinding outside of Let's Play, just as a side note. Also, this video will be very chaotic, because I don't really have a plan. I have some notes, but they are not sorted in any way, and I don't really want to cut this video, so this will just be like, do you know these stupid videos like real talk, and then you get like a 20-minute essay that doesn't make any sense and has no structure? This will be this video basically. Yeah, where do we want to fly? Let's fly to the mountains. Yeah, so should I speak Latvi despite not being good at it, despite my pronunciation being bad, despite not being able to use the grammar correctly, or despite maybe knowing the grammar but still making mistakes while speaking, which happens. I forget L&T endings. Maybe if I figure out how this works in the video program, I can show you here some screenshots of how many mistakes I do in the Let's Play, because I actually have a document where I mark all the mistakes. Yeah, and there are different stances on this. There are those people who say, who cares? Talking is about communication. We should also not even correct these mistakes. We should just let people talk. And I have the feeling that people who say no, people should only talk correctly, that they always think that this is a black and white thing. Like, either you speak correctly, or you don't speak at all, or you allow everyone to just say everything without any correction. But I think both are wrong. I think the truth lies in the middle, namely that you are allowed to speak, because it's about communication, it's not about being perfect. And without practice you cannot become perfect, but that you then also correct people and make sure that they can learn from speaking. Also, I'm messing up here a bit. Oh, I'm not messing up. Where's the other one? There. I'm confused. Yeah, okay, maybe I should not fly around. This seems to be a bit contradictory to the essay here. But yeah, why this discussion is actually coming up, because I've seen a lot of people, or not really a lot, but I've seen a few people in the Latvi community who seem to have the stance of, if you cannot speak correctly, and especially if you cannot speak with correct pronunciation, then you should not speak at all. And I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but the moment when I am not happy with this is when it affects the learners. And it has. I've literally have seen conversations on Kelutral, or like have seen situations on Kelutral where people have been like, yeah, okay, I will never speak Latvi again. I don't want to learn this language anymore, because I've been told, if you cannot do it the right way, then don't speak Latvi. And this is stupid. Like, I'm very sorry, but this is just stupid. For many reasons. First of all is the fact that without practice, you will never be able to actually do it right. And I think the best example here is Jaunto Way Alo Willem, who, like me right now still, was not able to do the tapped R for, I think, 7 years, and he spoke Latvi without it. Now one could say, okay, he cannot do the tapped R, maybe he should not be speaking at all, but the fact is, he now can do it. At some point it might click, and he finally learned how to do the tapped R, and I'm quoting him here, I managed to switch quite easily when I finally got it. So, yes, he learned it wrong, or he did it wrong at the beginning, but through years of practice he managed to do it and had still fun with the language, because in these 7 years of not being able to do it, he already could speak. And when he then finally got the right R, it was very easy for him to switch to the right sound and constantly using it. And I gonna quote him a bit more because he actually knows that I'm doing this video and wrote me some of his thoughts. So he wrote, "If I would not have been allowed to speak for the first 7 years, do you think I'd have been able to do the R by now?" My thoughts here are no, because without the practice, he would never have learned it. He would never have developed that skill. And the second question would be, do you think I'd still be studying Nutwe instead of burning out because people are only giving criticism? And here again, no. I think we would not have Willem in the community now. I think I would never have met Willem then probably. I think we would not have Reikun and other great resources he built. And worst of all, I think Willem would never have had so much fun with the language if he would have been told constantly that he should not be speaking because of the wrong R. Yeah, so this is the problem. You can only learn through repetition, through trying. And sometimes that takes years, and that's fine. I'm still in the process. I have many things that I have to improve with my pronunciation. I think the main points are stress. My rolled R is the wrong R. I'm doing the German one, but I cannot do the tapped R. Vowel qualities are sometimes a bit off, but I have to say about vowel qualities, like the A versus the E versus the E versus the E, and the A is for some people also a problem. I have to say vowel qualities, it's a continuum. It's not, like, vowels are not perfectly always correct. Vowels get influenced through the surrounding sounds and everything. Of course, we have the IPA that says it should be specifically like that. But in reality, like, the vowel chart is a continuum. In class, actually, when we learned to speak all the vowels, our teacher would not tell us, say this IPA symbol. He would show at a random spot in the vowel chart, either on the symbol or between the symbols, and would tell us, do this point in the chart. And yeah, in language, vowels are never exactly the same. Like, it comes down to what are the surrounding sounds, it comes down to what is your dialect, what's your sociolect, what's your idiolect. So your personal way of speaking, because everyone speaks different, which is another great thing. Everyone speaks different. Even within the Nutwe, if we had 10 native speakers, we would find differences in speaking between all 10 of them. Of course, we now have this textbook version of Nutwe, but it's fine to be a bit different from the textbook version. So, now of course the biggest argument from those who say you should not be speaking if you can do it correctly, the biggest arguments, which are totally understandable arguments, is that if you do it wrong and you show it to others, or others listen to you, or you speak to others, then they will learn it wrong from you. This is what I've been told too. My videos should not be online, or my videos should not be linked to learners, because they will hear my wrong pronunciation and they will then, of course, learn it wrong and get confused. And this is half true. You should not show my videos, or my completely new learners should not use my videos for listening pronunciation. What new learners should do is they should learn the pronunciation themselves, they should practice it, and they should know how it is supposed to be. So they should know what are their own mistakes, what they do they still do wrong, what do they have to improve. And then they should be familiar with the how is it supposed to sound well enough that they can listen to others speaking and hear, oh, this is not really right. Because then they can still do listening practice with people, or with other people, or with videos or whatever, without destroying their own pronunciation. And I think listening practice is very important, and it's a fact that pronunciation, like, no one has perfect pronunciation. So if we say that only people with perfect pronunciation are supposed to speak or supposed to prepare listening practice for other people, then we don't have listening practice anymore. Because not even Kaio Paul himself speaks Nutwe perfect according to IPA. And not even those people who say that you should not speak if you can do all the sounds perfectly. Those people also don't speak perfect to IPA. Many people have super good pronunciation. I don't doubt that at all. But no one has the perfect textbook IPA pronunciation. That's that just doesn't exist, because sounds influence each other when you say them. Your tone influences stuff. Like, for no language, perfect text pronunciation exists. That's just not a thing, which, like, that's like, in my 3 years of studying linguistics at university, that's basically the main thing. Textbook language doesn't exist. But yeah. So yeah, then are these other people who say you should just let everyone speak however they want. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we are about communication. Who cares about textbook Navi? I am also not on that stance. I think it's really a healthy middle. So what I think should happen is that, like I said, as a beginner, you should first learn pronunciation. You should learn how it's supposed to sound. Maybe go a bit into IPA, learn a bit of IPA, learn how the sounds are supposed to sound. And once you know this very well, you should identify your own mistakes. You should identify where you have to work on. You should really try to actively work on. To give an example of myself, I'm working on my wrong stresses very actively. I'm doing the stress game by Ray Kunyu or Willem every day with at least 100 words. So I'm actively working on getting better there. I still regularly practice the R, which I still cannot do, but I'm not giving up. I try to speak more slowly. I try to say the vowels a bit more on point. And the fourth thing that I didn't mention before, my fourth big problem is the consonants at the end. I feel very stupid. I forgot the word. The unreleased consonants. Bad linguist I am that I forgot that word. Yeah, unreleased consonants. That's also something I try to do through speaking slower, that I don't forget to not release those consonants. So I really, really try to actively work on the things while you speak. And yeah, then it's fine. And also about grammar mistakes, I think we should correct people. We should correct grammar mistakes when we hear them. But we should not frame it as, yeah, you speak wrong, don't speak. We should frame it as, hey, today I heard you when we spoke, I heard you that you very often, I don't know, forget the if infix with nissel pay. Maybe in the future you can try to hear it. Maybe we can talk again tomorrow and we can see if it improves, if you try to concentrate on it. So I think it should never be, you are wrong, don't do this. It should be, hey, here you can improve. Let's try again. And I know that many people don't dare to speak because either they have had exactly these experiences of people telling them to not speak anymore. Like they had exactly these experiences, and like I said, I've been at that point. I've been told myself that my pronunciation is horrible. I've been told myself that my videos should not be available for beginners. And funny thing, on the other hand, I've been told by other people that my pronunciation is great. I know that I make mistakes, but at this point I don't believe that my pronunciation is that bad as some people try to make it out to be. And I've seen people literally saying that they quit Navi because of this, because of being told that they should not talk or that their pronunciation is horrible and that they cannot talk Navi like this. And this is really not the way to go. Like, are we trying to get rid of learners? I think we are trying to make sure that everyone has fun here, right? And yeah, so if you're one of these people who is scared of speaking because you think you could make mistakes, make these mistakes and be open for criticism. Like, ask people for feedback. Jump into voice chat with people, talk, or make videos where you talk and share them, and specifically ask people, hey, what can I improve when I speak the next time? What do I have to concentrate on? And this will be a long process. This will take a while. Like I said, I still make stresses wrong. I still make these stupid unreleased sounds. I release them, even though I know I should not release them at the end of a word or at the end of a syllable. And it takes time. It's a long process, but the process is the fun thing here, because I think the goal should not be to be perfect. The goal should be to have fun in the process of improvement. So find things that make you have fun with the Navi language. Talk to friends in Navi, so teach your friends Navi. Yeah. But why I am talking about this now, after this discussion is kind of old already, is because not that long ago, I think in the last month or so, I have made a lot of random speaking practices in Kettletal. And I have to say that the thing that made me the most happy in recent times regarding Natvi teaching is that we had an intermediate to advanced speaking practice, and there were, I think, 14 people in there. And it was just great seeing so many people speak Natvi, like not only people listening, because my speaking practice, speaking actually is mandatory. You're not allowed to just listen. But there were 14 people in there speaking Natvi together, and I made everyone speak. I forced everyone to speak, and it worked. And we had completely different people there. We had people who spoke for years already and were near fluent. We had people who spoke Natvi for the first time. And I think everyone had fun. And that's the most important thing. We are learning Natvi to have fun. We are learning Natvi to communicate. And if you never dare to do this, and if you always are like, no, I first have to become perfect, and you just like have the stress connected to learning the language, then that's not how it's supposed to be. So, ma frappot, what I actually wanted to say with all this 60-minute ramble at this point is have fun with the language. Don't let anyone tell you that you should not speak Natvi for various reasons. But also be open for feedback and try to find out where you have to improve and try to actively improve. And very important, I think I mentioned it, but not as much as I want. Don't look at listening practice videos, for example, from me or for anyone else, and think, oh, they must be perfect. Go at everything critically and remember that everyone is a learner. We don't have native speakers, they're only learners. So treat the spoken Natvi that you treat it like that. Treat it as something made by a fellow learner who has their own issues they have to work on. I think that's what I wanted to say. I hope this ramble was a bit fun. I hope the random Ikran flying in the background was not too boring. I had no idea what to put in the background, so you got random Ikran flying and me almost dying. So. Hayalovai ma flufe, hayalovai ma frapo.